many of us, I'm sure you're feeling it. Business is hard, and now more than ever, you need to have a plan to help you not just survive, but thrive. And it can happen as simply as thinking with the end in mind. I'm Marcia. I'm a business growth strategist. I've helped tons of small business owners to establish and implement a tangible plan that guarantees increased profitability, guides your growth, and plans for your future exit. Because a business worth selling is also a business worth owning. And I want to share strategies that I've earned and learned with you on today's Profit with a Plan podcast. But before we get started, I have something to share with you listeners. I've put together an insightful Think Outside the Box live web class on Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. It's been specifically designed to help you learn how to turn your business into one worth selling, even if you aren't thinking of selling it yet. Why now? Join me and find out. Register for free at exitwithaplan.com. So I'm excited to have my guest today, Melissa Houston. She's the founder of the Fractional CFO Agency. She's a columnist at Forbes.com and the host of the Business Society podcast. As a licensed CPA, she is a financial strategist for CEOs, and she helps successful business owners to increase their profit margins without having to increase their revenue, so that they keep more money in their pocket while increasing their personal wealth. Melissa has seen the bottom and climbed her way back up. She personally and financially bounced back from concealing $100,000 in personal debt from her husband. She shares her stories to remind people that your mistakes don't define you. And as humans, we all make mistakes and we can recover from them. She uses that to teach entrepreneurs to become financially literate in order to create profit in their businesses. And she has over 20 years experience with large and small corporations, government, and not-for-profit industries, while specializing in internal controls, corporate accounting, budgets, financial reporting, corporate and personal taxes, audits, and SR and ED. Melissa enjoys helping business owners build their business by increasing their financial management skills. Your numbers are always telling you a story, and make sure you're listening to it. Melissa's passion is helping business owners go from six-figure to seven-figure businesses and achieving their own personal financial dreams. When Melissa isn't helping entrepreneurs become better CEOs with their business, she can be found at the cottage with her husband, Jamie, and her two teen children and 3 dogs. Full household. Melissa, welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast.
Hi, Marcia. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here today.
Thanks, me too. I think it's such an important topic that business owners kind of shy away from because they're always in the midst of putting out fires and chasing customers and, doing their day-to-day, that they don't look hard at those numbers. And those numbers are an open book as to what they're really, truly doing, right?
Absolutely. And numbers don't lie. They are telling you a story.
Yeah. So what kind of stories should we expect from our numbers in a way that would help the owner make good decisions?
Oh my gosh, there's so many numbers that you can be looking at when you're looking at your business. So what I often coach clients in is to understand what key performance indicators will help them. Like, where are they struggling in their business? Where do they need to increase performance? Use those KPIs and monitor them. Now, one KPI that I believe absolutely every business should be monitoring are your profit margins. So those are super important. There's so much emphasis on bringing in revenue in a business, but really revenue is fantastic. Absolutely. You need revenue to survive in your business, but you also need profit, and businesses are created to create that profit, and having that profit there to grow and, reinvest back into your business as you're growing your business is essential for a successful business.
Oh, so true. They often look at, I brought in X, but they didn't realize they spent Y, Z, A, B, C, and they've got nothing left to show from it.
Absolutely.
And we all know many small businesses run their lifestyle through their business to, take advantage of opportunities of a business owner. But yeah, that can really hurt the bottom line profits, right?
Absolutely. And going back to your intro where you're talking about helping business owners sell their business, numbers are the first thing that potential buyers are looking at when you are selling your business. So making sure that you've got a system in place and profitability there, and consistent profitability over time is really going to appeal to a potential buyer.
Yes, so true. Positive increasing cash flow is everything when somebody's looking at the business to buy, because they don't want to buy something that, oh, in 5 years it'll be better. They want to know that it's running right now. So
Exactly.
leaning out is a really good benefit. Okay,
Mhm.
so revenue is great, profits are more important. But you know what? Many business owners, they like, ugh, numbers, they go, I don't want to know, just tell me what it is. How can we make this simple for them so that they feel confident when they're looking at those numbers, and it's not like that, going to the dentist?
Absolutely. I mean, the first step that I take with my clients is we always address any money mindset issues that are going on, and, everybody has a money story, and money is definitely an emotionally charged topic. So
Mm,
what I like to do is get to know what money story is going on with my clients and seeing if it's preventing them from being the best possible business owner that they can be. Because so often we have these, old tapes or old memories that are holding us back as business owners. Like, for example, if you have issues with selling and sales, that's going to hold you back in your revenue department,
but don't we
right?
all? Come on.
Unfortunately, yes. But, like when you address if you've got any mindset issues around that and you can overcome them, it helps you to be bringing in more sales, right? And on the topic of more sales, often I find that, if businesses are struggling and they feel like they've got a cash shortage, far too often we hear this, this advice out in the industry where they're like, if you need cash, just make an offer, make a sale, and you're fine. Have that
Sure.
cash coming in. Yeah, and that's not going to work if you've got cash leaks going on in your business, right? So if your business is like a leaky bucket and you're just filling it with cash, the cash is going to leak out the other end. So it's really important to overcome any overwhelm or issues that you're having about wanting to look at your business numbers and understand the importance and the value of knowing what's going on in your business. Because when you know what's going on and you're looking at your numbers and you can identify money leaks and plug them, you are increasing profit. And the profit is the money that you get to keep for yourself at the end of the day. And the profit increases your net worth.
Wow, well said. And it's so important because people think, oh, I can just go get more money or I can go get more clients,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But what's happening behind you with all the holes? I mean, that's crazy. So what kind of holes are common that you see with your clients in that leaky
Oh,
bucket?
there's so many common mistakes and issues that I see. First one is definitely having these subscriptions that you're not using anymore. That is
Right?
such a common one. They're like, oh my God, I thought I canceled that subscription. And that's thousands of dollars going out the back end every year. Another one is not taking advantage of tax saving strategies. That's a huge money leak right
Yes.
there. And it's
That's why we're
so
in business. That's the number
exactly.
one benefit of a business, is to have tax benefits and strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Yikes.
and tax strategies don't end at just, finding expenses that you can claim against your revenue. There's, structures for businesses that are corporated. And, taking advantage as a business owner of the higher level tax strategies can save you thousands and thousands of dollars each and every year over year. And that adds up as well.
And that isn't done in March when you're getting ready to file your taxes. It's
Absolutely.
done
Exactly.
throughout the year.
Exactly. So
Love it.
important.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So you shared with us some leaky holes, subscriptions, software that we don't really use, and memberships that we have that get us. There could be things like, cost of collecting credit cards,
Yeah.
those kind of fees and things that we have. But
Advertising.
oh, so
Advertising
true.
is huge. The Facebook ads right now are hugely, like, they're
Right.
they're they're increasing in cost. And if you're not monitoring your numbers and if you're not knowing if your advertising dollars are paying off, that's a money leak as well.
Yeah, that's huge. So there's so much that business owners need to do. Are there, are there easy ways to notice these numbers? I mean, besides having your accountant pull them for you or whatever, it's just being aware, right?
Absolutely. See, the thing is, if you're working with an accountant, chances are you're working with them, maybe quarterly, but generally it's an annual relationship where you bring in your books to have your accountant do your tax return. So what I really try to teach CEOs is how to look at your high level numbers,
Mm,
so that you can look at your numbers every month and understand where your money's going without having to rely on your accountant. It's
yeah.
absolutely great to have an accountant, but like I said, chances are you're engaging with them once a year, maybe quarterly at max. And your
Hmm.
bookkeeper is not trained to offer you the type of advice that you should be getting. Like, really, what your bookkeeper is doing is data entry. They're entering
Checks and
the number,
balances.
checks and balances, following GAAP rules, entering the data, giving you that financial foundation so that you can run your business reports with confidence
Mm,
and look at your numbers. And as you look at them, you get to know what's going on in your business. You really understand what's going on. And what that does is it teaches you and allows you to make decisions as the business owner that are going to be profitable for your business. Because once you start understanding your numbers, you understand how your business generates the profit.
love it, love it. You can make decisions as to hiring more, relieving people, moving in this direction versus that direction, because you can see the numbers that are coming in, and you can see, okay, I launched this offer or
Mhm.
this new product, and it's costing me more than I'm making off of it. So do we let it go one more month and
Exactly.
then pull the plug, or do we keep throwing money into a sinking hole? You can't do
Exactly.
that if you're not aware and looking at the numbers. I mean, I know
Exactly.
numbers scare a lot of people. So I'm hopefully with this conversation getting people comfortable to say they're not bad. They're just there. They're facts that you can
They're
make decisions with.
facts. Exactly, because the point of business is you're always going to grow and evolve, right? So if you're tying emotion to absolutely every financial report you're reading, it's
Right.
going to be an emotional roller coaster. Some things work, some things don't work. But when you
Mhm.
look at the numbers as just facts that are coming back to you, it's just getting feedback on what's working in your business and what's not. And you take the emotion out of that and you can make tweaks and improvements so that you can improve your profitability over time. Then that's the important thing that you need to be doing in your business, right? Like, I understand, like I mentioned earlier, that money is the most emotionally charged topic there is. But when you learn how to take that emotion out of looking at your numbers, it just helps you so much better as a business owner.
Got it. Got it. Love it. Okay. So we talked about the key thing, the revenue and the bottom line profits. Um, and you talked about leaky holes and reviewing those numbers. What can today's CEO and small business owner really do to improve that profitability?
One thing I always recommend is creating that financial plan. When you have
Mm,
a financial plan, it gives direction for your business. So we're at the time of recording, we're in January of 2022. This is the beginning of a new year. And I always ask clients, do you have your financial plan in place? It's so important to get that financial plan ironed out, get those goals on paper or in Excel, and understand how you're working towards those goals throughout the year. Because if you
well said.
have a goal, but you don't have a plan, then it disappears. It just becomes a wish and nothing really happens with wishes, right? You
Ah,
know,
well said.
yeah. So that is to me the key formula for increasing the profit in your business. And, once you tackle that financial plan, it gives you a better sense of ease on when you look at your numbers, right?
Mm,
Because you understand what direction you want to go in. You understand what your numbers are telling you and how you can get there. And then you measure your performance each and every month against what you had planned. So then you understand what went well, what went wrong, and you don't wait until the end of the year to find this out before you can course correct, right? You get this information in a timely manner so that if something's not going well, you can, make choices. You pull the plug, you try something different, whatever it is, but you're not having that money leak throughout the year where you're putting money into something that's just not working.
Well said. I'm a big proponent, hence by the name of my podcast, Profit with a Plan, about
Mhm.
planning. And I think that that's the piece that most business owners forget. Or they say, "Oh, we're going to grow our business by 100,000 this year." But
Yep.
they don't have the reverse engineered steps on how they're going to do it in
Exactly.
a monthly or quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily objective that they need to increase. They just go, "Oh, I hope it happens," like you said, and it's
Yeah.
such a missing piece
Yeah.
that business owners don't focus on. Or they say, "Oh, we're gonna increase sales." Okay, but what about spending? What about people? What about targets? What about product lines? I mean, all those
Exactly.
pieces
Yeah,
go
because when
into it.
you absolutely, because when you're increasing sales, you're increasing the cost because you always accumulate costs to increase the sales. So you're absolutely right. And I love that you point that out.
Yeah, it's so important. Okay, so we will face it. We don't like to look at our numbers. We probably don't balance our checkbook. Is there a checkbook anymore? We probably don't do the things that we need to do to stay on top of our numbers. But when we're looking at numbers and we're looking at our financials and we're trying to grow those profits, what are some of the things that we should be doing or looking at if we're going to be doing it on, say, a monthly basis? Is monthly too late to look and
Oh,
course correct?
absolutely. I always coach people and say minimum monthly basis, you should be looking at your financials. If you can look at them, if you can have your books updated weekly and look at your numbers on a weekly basis, even better. But monthly at the bare minimum. And
Mhm.
what I always suggest is that, once you've created that plan, you take every month, you have your little monthly meeting with yourself or with your coach or your CFO, what have you. But you make sure that you have this little date and you look at your money, you look at your financial reports, and then you compare what you actually produce that month compared to what you planned, and you
Mm.
understand the difference. And the key here is that it makes you accountable to your numbers. It
So
makes
true.
you accountable to your plan that you created for yourself.
Yeah, I like that idea because you can actually, when you look at those numbers and you say, okay, I meant to have 10 extra, clients this month or 10 extra sales this month, and I only got four. Well, congratulations, you got four, but what did you need to do to get those extra six? And because you were aware of it, you can make those decisions of, oh, my marketing didn't pay off, or oh, my salesperson was sick, oh, my salesperson didn't do the job. Something might have happened, the delivery process might have failed somewhere. So
Mhm.
even though you're looking at the numbers, you're actually able to see the entire business and how it's running because you saw that there was a misfire, right, of some
Exactly.
sort.
Exactly. And I love that you brought up like the salespeople aspect of it as well, right? There are so many reports that you can run to monitor the performance of your team members too, right? So quite often I see business owners who are panicking saying that they've invested in this salesperson, but they have no idea if they're actually doing the job or not. So
Mhm.
then they panic thinking I'm paying all this salary and nothing is coming in return, when in fact they don't know. So if you can, have those reports generated each and every month and you understand how your salesperson is 4xing their income or what have you, whatever goals or targets that you've set for them, then you understand if they're performing or not. So there's so
Right.
many things that numbers can tell you. It's not just limited to your income statement where you're just looking at your revenue and your expenses. You can monitor. I can't think of a thing you cannot monitor in your business with numbers.
Oh, I love it. As an example, I have a client. The employee has gotten a little big for her britches and is asking for a ridiculous pay raise. And she put together her proposal as to what she thought she grew the business with, as part of the team of the company, I'm going in to explain that she didn't grow the business. She acted and represented her job expectations, but if you don't have those numbers, you can't come back and go, well, Susie, you did a great job. You performed, admirably to the job description. but you didn't actually generate the revenue that you said you read, because you have the
Yeah,
numbers and you can make that decision, and
exactly.
move in that way.
Yeah.
I love it. I know that numbers, and we keep talking about numbers. Um, we're talking reports that you can get and have running. You should have an accounting system, right? I mean, all
Mhm.
companies, even solopreneurs, should have an accounting system so they can evaluate the directions that they have. We
Absolutely.
all know the main ones, the QuickBooks and the bigger companies, but are you aware of any smaller versions, or ways that smaller solopreneurs, onesie, twosie, threesie type people can run without having to buy into the big accounting softwares?
Absolutely. The first one that comes to mind is Wave. Wave is a great accounting platform, software platform, where you can use for free.
Ah,
Yeah, so you
fantastic.
you pay for the features that you need. So you can any solopreneur can start off using Wave for free, and then if they're using the billing system through there, I believe that they charge you, like the credit card fees and
Sure.
the fees on top of it. But to do your record keeping, you can use Wave. I've used it with a client, and it organizes the financial data really, really well, and you can generate reports at the click of a button. And it's a really fantastic tool to use for people who don't want to invest the money in QuickBooks, or they're just not ready for that yet.
Right. Because it could be quite daunting. And then, you have the annual or the monthly fees in order to use it. And
Mhm.
if it's like anything, if it makes it too hard, you don't use it. So
Yeah.
this wave sounds like a fantastic solution that would allow us to be able to put our data in, which
Exactly. If you've got
had,
minimal data
yeah,
and yeah, exactly. I mean, for companies who are, bigger and they've got more transactions and it's, a lot more information to track, and you want to create, different reports that are going to give you,
sure.
a ton of information, that's when I would recommend QuickBooks. But for solopreneurs who have minimal transactions and, there's not a lot of monitoring going on, Wave is a perfect solution.
Wow, that's fantastic, because that's exactly what startups and growing companies need. But if you don't
Mhm,
have everything going on, it just doesn't make sense. So,
mhm.
one more question for you. You mentioned fractional CFO, and you'll come in and you'll be part time. Why would a business owner want to have someone like you on their team?
Such a great question. Because what happens is when business owners are employing bookkeepers and accountants, they don't really understand what their role is to fill. So, as I mentioned earlier, bookkeepers are there to do the data entry and ensure that everything is in compliance with GAAP. And your accountant that you're meeting at the end of the year, typically you're meeting them so they can complete your tax return. So, for larger businesses, so businesses that are making 100,000 plus may and plan on growing. That's the key. Like if you want to be growing your business and
Mm,
getting up to those seven-figure numbers, you really want to invest in that financial support. So for businesses that are about the 100 to 500,000 revenue per year, I recommend a coaching program. And then for those who are 500 plus and want to get to the seven, eight-figure whatever business, fractional CFO is a fantastic option, because typically you have a CFO, but you can't afford to bring them on full time. You can't afford to pay them. And it's really not in your best interest to do that either. So, a fractional CFO is really just a part time CFO. So, you're not sacrificing the education experience or the work experience of a CFO and their strategic knowledge and advice, and you can get it on a part-time basis, right? So it's a fraction of the cost. So they come in and they help you with your financial reports and decisions. They help you with that
mm,
strategic growth. They're there to be a partner with you in your business and help you with the blind spots, right? So if you're the visionary, you're the CEO who wants to grow their business and you understand how you want to get there, the CFO comes in to support you and ensure that you helps you get to that point, right? Through
right.
the 12-month forecasting, the capital planning, the 5-year look ahead, creating these reports that are going to help you make the decisions, interpreting the financial data for you, and so much more. Fractional CFOs are like a blessing to small and medium-sized businesses right now.
So true. So true. And that really is an important piece for the business because the owner is stuck inside the company that they can't step back and analyze it and make
Yeah,
decisions that will grow their company in the right way. Like you
yeah,
mentioned, even capital raising, whether you're taking loans or getting investments or so on, this is the money that is meant to grow your company. And if you don't know the nuances of it and you don't know how to make those decisions, then that's why someone comes in, such as yourself, that comes in to help your business make
exactly.
those decisions. And honestly, heads up folks, a full-time CFO is in the, at least in Southern California area, it's 180,000, and that's something that often we can't afford in the smaller range, but we still need those decisions made in the company and the advice and guidance of that strategic planning to be able to be used to grow your company. And
Absolutely.
if you're not growing, you might as well just close the doors and die because sustainable business requires growth.
Exactly. But, often I see business owners hesitant to invest in these fractional CFO or CFO types because they're not sure where the payoff is, right? Where's the
Right,
value add?
right.
And the value add is through all those function that I mentioned, but it increases profitability, right? So you're going to see it on the back end, so to speak, because they're not out there generating customers and clients and bringing in new business and stuff, or maybe they are, but as a rule, they typically aren't. They're looking at your systems, your processes, your procedures, making everything more efficient so that you're saving money. So you could be like, when I talk about money leaks, if your processes are inefficient, you could be wasting like $30,000 a year or what have you, just on one specific process. And if they're going in there and they're increasing it and they save you that money, the investment pays off, right? So good CFOs are there to ensure that they're going to add value to your business in those ways.
Love it, love it. And a chief financial officer, fractional or not, is there to guide the owner. They're not
Yeah.
there to do the accounting and the bookkeeping and those kind of things, but they understand the details that are involved with that so that they can help you, business owner, make great decisions. And I think
Mhm.
that's it. No business owner should ever be on an island all by themselves, working day to day with no support, guidance, and direction. And having financial guidance, having business guidance, having marketing guidance, having product guidance. It's all necessary at certain points of your business life to
Mhm.
have help. And having someone like Melissa to come in and guide you on the direction of where you need to be and the pieces and angles that you can shave off to make that better, it's all about the bottom line, right? It all helps you
Absolutely.
in the long run, and I love it.
Yeah.
So, Melissa, where can listeners find out more about you and what you offer?
Absolutely. So they can visit me at melissahouston.cpa.com. And on my website, you can grab your free 5-step roadmap to biz finance freedom. That's super
Ooh, like
helpful
that.
to get you on your way to making your business more profitable and understanding the numbers that you need to be looking at as the CEO. And on social media, I can be followed on Instagram at Melissa Houston CPA, or connect with me on LinkedIn at Melissa Houston CPA.
Love it. And send a note when you connect. That way you tell her where you found her. And that way she's more apt to receive that invitation rather than just a blanket one. So I know
Exactly.
that that's been super valuable for me when people want to connect with me when they send a note saying, "Hey, I found you here. I love the information you did," and it's not one of those spammy kind of things. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
love
completely
it.
agree with that.
Love it. Thank you so much. All right, listeners, I hope you found a couple ideas to put into your business that will help you be more profitable. Gosh, I know just finding those numbers, being able to make decisions off of it, and getting the support you need to grow your business is really, really important. And now more than ever, it's important to build your business like you want to sell it. Don't forget to register for my new web class on how to turn your business into one worth selling, even if you aren't thinking of selling it, because there are tons of benefits to having a sale worthy business and not just selling it, but everything runs better and you're more profitable. Don't forget, it'll be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Go register for free at exitwithaplan.com. You don't want to miss this class. And Melissa and I would love to hear your questions. Give us some comments or feedback on it. And hey, don't forget to subscribe on today's podcast. And you can always catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. And we're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with it.